Welcome back to another Leadership Moments with Heath. Today we're going to thank you for all of the work y'all are putting in to help us get this channel up and going and growing. The liking, the subscribing, the sharing, the commenting. We appreciate it all, and it helps a lot because starting out, we're limited in how far we can reach. So if you get anything at all out of these stories and moments, ideas, we'd appreciate it if you just share them. We do want to take a moment to tell you a bit of a story here. 2001, I found myself out of a job, and the market was not good. The economy was contracting a bit, and this is pre 9/11, but in that contraction, I had just had our first kid, Nathaniel. He had just been born, and I had jumped jobs from one company to another company and got laid off before I ever started. Just a weird situation. But I went to work selling insurance and investments for a company called Primerica. Great company. I learned a ton there. And a good portion of why I am where I am today and who I am today is because of what I learned there. While I never got rich, well, some people do, I did walk away with stuff that's worth way more than money, and that's for sure. And I'm sure I'll tell some more Primerica stories as we go and things I learned there because I learned a ton. But one of the things they introduced me to was every Monday we would have a leadership meeting where we would watch video presentation of a VHS series done by John Maxwell on the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. And every week we would do a different law, and we just replay them for 4 years, every Monday, just replaying them and replaying them and replaying them. And I've read the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, I don't know how many times, several. And I fell in love with the idea of teaching leadership and of growing my influence as a leader. And John Maxwell has been one of my heroes in that, in the way that he teaches. But one of those laws, and there's nothing new under the sun is what Solomon said, but one of those laws that he taught was the law of the lid. The law of the lid has done more to help me as a leader than probably anything I've ever learned before or since. The law of the lid says that I'm paraphrasing here, that as a leader, you determine the effectiveness of your organization. You are the lid. The analogy that he uses is a metaphor of fleas in a jar. And whether or not this is true, I'm not an etymologist or a flea specialist by any stretch of the imagination, but fleas can jump a long way in the wild. They say they jump somewhere around 2 to 6 feet, depending on who you ask. But if you take these fleas and you put them in a jar and put the lid on it, the flea will jump and he'll bump his head on the top of that jar. And eventually, he will get the message, there's a lid up here, and I can't jump that high or it's going to hurt. And so he will just stop jumping as high. And then, after they stop jumping as high, you can take the lid off the jar, and the fleas won't ever jump out the jar because they've trained to only jump that high. Now, whether or not that's true, again, I don't know. But I found that to be really true with people. That when you're in a position where you're hitting your head on the ceiling, you stop jumping as high. From a leadership context, I'm the lid on the organization that I'm trying to lead. And so my capacity to lead on a scale of 10, maybe a 7 or 8, I don't know. I may be optimistic in how I rank myself. But people who are under me, so long as they're 4s and 5s and they got room to jump and grow, they'll do fine. But if I get a guy under me who's a better leader than I am, if I don't continue to grow and continue to improve and grow my leadership capacity, then he'll be bumping his head on me. And either he will stop growing and conform to stay underneath me, or He will have to leave the organization so that he can jump and be who he needs to be. If I want to keep good leaders, if I want to develop good leaders and grow good leaders, I have to invest more time than anybody in growing my ability to lead. The responsibility is 100% on me. I have to grow my capacity as a leader, because if I don't, then I will always be losing the best leaders that I develop, which I'm probably going to lose anyway, because that's the way leadership works. But I will always be losing them before they're ready to leave, or before I've helped to grow them. They will leave mad, they'll leave discontent, they'll leave upset, discouraged, hurt, traumatized, because they've continued to bash their head on my leadership cap. I will constantly be surrounded by leaders who are subpar, because I am subpar. So for me to grow as a leader, I have to invest in myself. I have to do the work. Growing as a leader is not something that happens naturally. You have to think about things and read and be challenged and be mentored and to grow as a leader, for you to grow, for you to be able to elevate your capacity to lead. But when you do that, you're able to recruit and to train a much greater staff and have much better followers who can multiply your effectiveness as a leader. I'd encourage you to ask yourself, if you look at the people that you're leading, what is the biggest obstacle to them taking their capacity to the next level? What would that look like? What's next for them? How can I help my people get prepared to take that next step to whatever's next for them? And if I can do that, then I will grow my influence with them far beyond just them working for me. We move from positional leadership to permissional leadership. We talked about that before with the currency of leadership. The way we develop our people and the way we develop those relationships is by developing the capacity to grow in our influence and grow in our leadership. So I encourage you, take a hard look at where you're at. Ask somebody else to help you see, okay, what are the obstacles to my capacity as a leader? What are the things that are in the way of me taking this organization and my organization to the next level? What is it that my people need from me? And then once you identify those things, just sell out on them. Go to work. Do the work. Grow. And help them to grow. When you do so, you won't ever be sorry for growing. All right? You guys have a good day. I hope this helped you. Go out there. Be successful. I believe in you. Go get them.